So in this class we are going to look at the life cycle of algae. Consider these are algae, giant sea kelps. This is its main plant body, also called as the dominant plant body. It is haploid, it is photosynthetic, free-living plant body. The main plant body of the algae is a haploid, free-living, photosynthetic plant body. It is thalloid. These leaf-like structures that you see over here are not true leaves, they are leaf-like structures, and shoot-like structures will be present. This main plant body will bear sex organs. Let's say these are the sex organs that are born. Male sex organ, this is female sex organ. What do you know about the sex organs? They are unicellular and non-jacketed except for cara. Remember, we have already discussed this. These sex organs are also going to be haploid since they are formed on the haploid plant body, and they will undergo mitosis and produce the male and the female gametes. Let's say this is the female gamete and this is the male gamete. Both the gametes are going to be haploid, which will fuse together by the process of syngamy. Syngamy is fertilization, and with syngamy a single celled structure will be called, which will be called as the 2N zygote. Zygote will be 2N. Why it will be 2N? Because it has been formed by the fusion of haploid nuclei. Now this zygote, it will never undergo the process of mitosis and form an embryo. It will not. It will rest for a while and then undergo the process of meiosis to produce 4 haploid cells. N, and then these cells will undergo mitosis and produce about 8 to 12 haploid spores, which will be liberated. These haploid spores will germinate into a new plant body. We can mention here, does not undergo mitosis. Does not undergo mitosis to produce embryo. No embryo formation is present in case of the algae. That's why they are called non-embryophytes, and that's when the bryophytes become the first embryophytes. So this is the life cycle. If you plot this life cycle against a pie chart in this manner, you will see that a large part of its life cycle has been spent in a haploid stage, and a relatively short duration of its life is spent in the diploid stage. Okay, and once it undergoes meiosis again, the new generation will start. This haploid part of the generation is called as the gametophyte. Why it is called as the gametophyte? Because it produces the gametes. It produces the gametes. Does it not produce gametes? Look, this is haploid, isn't it? This is haploid part of the plant body. It produced gametes, isn't it? It produced gametes. Yes, it did. So it is a gametophyte, gamete producing plant body. What about after the syngamy, the 2N cell has been formed? This 2N stage of the life cycle is called as the sporophyte. This 2N stage of the life cycle is called sporophyte. Why it is called as a sporophyte? Because it is the spore producing plant body. Is it the spore producing plant body? Yes. The zygote produced the spores. It is the spore producing plant body. It has produced spores from which the new gametophytes have been formed. So in the life cycle of a plant, you can observe from formation of one plant like this to yet another plant, there is an intervening 2N cell stage. What happens in animals? Let's say I am an animal. I am a 2N animal. I have produced a child. I have produced one daughter. Okay, she's also 2N and I'm also 2N. So, but before she came into an existence, there was an intermediate generation present who nobody asked. That intermediate generation was the N egg cell and the N sperm cell that fused together to produce my daughter's first cell, which is the diploid zygote. That intermediate generation nobody asks. I have produced it. So there is an intermediary N stage in between. Over here, what is the situation? From one N generation to the next N generation, there is an intermediate 2N cell generation. This is called as the sporophyte, the spore producing plant body. Our life cycle, if you plot it against this kind of diagram, you will see majority of our life cycle is 2N and only a small part of it is haploid. Ours is diplontic life cycle. Theirs is haplontic life cycle, since majority of the life cycle is haploid. Haploid stage is the main plant body. The gametophyte is the main plant body, which is the dominant phase of the life cycle. Such kind of a life cycle is called as a haplontic life cycle. What is a haplontic life cycle? Major part of the life cycle is gametophyte, which is haploid. Major part of life cycle is haploid gametophytic stage. Okay? and very less of it is the sporophytic stage. The moment the zygote is formed, the next generation has begun, and when it undergoes meiosis, that is, that generation is over, that 2n generation is over and the next generation has begun. Let us write down about the sporophyte. Sporophyte, only a single cell zygote which is dependent on gametophyte. What does it do? Zygote immediately undergoes meiosis. Example, we can write most algae have this life cycle. For example, Spirogyra, Volvox, Chlamydomonas. There are some exceptions. For example, Ectocarpus, Polysiphonia, kelps are known to have a haplodiplontic life cycle. What does this mean? Haploid as well as diploid stage, both stages are dominant, and there is Fucus which has a diplontic life cycle. Its zygote will divide mitotically to produce an embryo, and the main plant body will become diploid in nature. So as you can see, there are some exceptions. In some algae, the zygote will undergo mitosis to produce embryo and result in the formation of a diploid sporophyte. The main plant body will become diploid, and as such, that type of life cycle is called the diplontic life cycle. Okay, but for majority of the algae, the main life cycle will be haplontic life cycle, like we have seen. So that is about the life cycle in algae.
महादेव के नाम पे सब्सक्राइब कर दें।